session 62 with me, Jessica Brigden of Jess B, Creative Cardiology. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining my channel and watching my video here. Happy Tuesday to you. Hope you are having a great week. We are in the heart of heat of summer, so I'm thinking kind of late summer flowers. A lot of the gardens in the area have fun echinacea and coneflowers and things, and so I just love the Nature's Harvest bundle with the Nature's Harvest stamp set and the Harvest dies, which has that really fun coneflower die in it. So that is what we're going to be playing with today. Last week I showed you how to do some inking your stamps with your Stampin' markers, as well as doing a little bit of watercoloring. Hey Jeanette, thanks so much for joining me. Today I'm going to show you some sponging with ink techniques that we'll be using with these die cut flowers, and using our sponge daubers. I call them my little finger daubers because they fit right on your fingers. And so we are going to be doing some little daubing today. Hi Nessa, hi Susie, hi Luann, hey Bonnie. Ooh, happy travels if you're on your way home from Ohio. Hope you had a fun trip. That sounds like a beautiful time. It sounds amazing. Yeah, so I've got some fun cards for you today. We're just going to get right into it. If you're new to my channel or you haven't subscribed yet, please do hit that little subscription as well as the notification bell. That really helps my channel. It's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything weird. It just allows you to have notification when I have a new video each week. All right, I'm going to flip. We are going to get started. Okay. And then I do have here my August host code, ZWWZTKJ4. All right, let's get everything. I feel like that's a little bit too close, so let's adjust our view here. All right, got my trimmer in the way. We'll just give this a little bit of a slide so we're in the proper view here. All right, so for both of the cards today, I'm going to follow a similar pattern, but I am going to use some different color schemes. So what I'm starting with for our two card bases is just a full sheet of crumb cake cardstock. I have cut that here on the 11-inch side, right in the middle at 5.5. So our card bases are 5.5 by 8.5. We will go ahead and fold these and then just set them aside for now. All right, so when we're doing coneflowers, they come in so many different colors. I've seen some gorgeous ones that have almost, I'm gonna go ahead and use Cajun Craze and Rich Razzleberry because it has really that orangey purple look. And then we have others that have this bright coral. There's some that are yellow, so many fun combinations. So for the first one here, I'm going to pull in a layer of Rich Razzleberry that is 4 by 5.25. And actually, we can go ahead and adhere this to one of our card bases. I am going to use a little bit of twine, but that's going to go around the top layer. So a fun thing when you're using, kind of creating simple card bases, I love to pull in anything with stitching, but I've become a real fan of the Stitched with Whimsy dies lately. Love these. All right, and so if you're doing your card layer for the top here, so this is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So this second largest Whimsy die does that fun imprint that looks like the bumblebees kind of zipped around your flower. All right, so I love those. All right, so pretty simple here. We're not going to adhere this layer on quite yet because I want to decorate our flowers and kind of get that going first. So I am going to bring in my scrap pad of chipboard. And you can tell I've been doing a lot of sponging and inking and all kinds of fun stuff, but definitely want to protect your work surface. So with our our Harvest dies, it's the Nature's Harvest bundle. Hey Janelle, how are you? Let me show you. You get 2 sheets here. So these coordinate with our stamped images, and then you've got a couple sizes of labels. And then we have these fun wildflower dies So in particular, I'm using the Coneflower one here. All right, so I've cut out a bunch of these. So I want to use 3 on the front of each card here. So I did find out if you're using basic white cardstock, I was actually able to cut through 2 layers at a time. So that does help a little bit faster stamping there, or die cutting when if you want to do a bunch of multiples. So that did work for me. All right, make sure I've got all my colors that I'm going to want to use. All right, so on our rich raspberry card, I'm going to pull in some fun bright colors. We're going to do some Cajun Craze. Hi, Sue, welcome. Some Old Olive, and then of course our rich raspberry. So we've got quite the color combination here. But like I said, late summer, lots of fun. All right, and we are using our sponge daubers. So I use, just like I do with my blends, I like to do kind of one for each similar color. So like I've got one for yellows, one for kind of my orangey reds, my greens. I need to, here's another green one. I keep them all in my little drawer with my sponges. It's just one of these little storage units. Yeah, so I kind of keep them all together here, and then see what I've got. That one looked like it was a blue. So I don't think I have a purple one out yet. So I'm going to start a fresh one for that. And then we can use kind of this orangey corally color that will work for the Cajun Craze. All right, so I'm gonna do my center, my little cone first. All right, so I'm gonna apply my sponge dauber to my finger. Now the cool thing with these, they come in a set, I think it's a set of 5. Let me double check. These are in the annual catalog. All right, so they're on page 129 of the annual catalog, number 6. You get a set of 5 for $5. So that's nice. And when they come, they're all nice and pristine until you use them. If you wanted to, you could rinse the color out of them. I just, like I said, I kind of designate mine for specific colors. Luann says her black-eyed Susans are such a deep golden yellow. Oh, they're so pretty. Yes, I've got some of those too. Oh, love wildflowers. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we're going to start with our Cajun, and I'm just going to kind of go in a circular motion because I don't want to have just a dot. All right, so I do recommend kind of circling around that. You can see it's picking up some of the texture here on our flowers, which is kind of cool. There's a little bit of embossing on there, and you can make that as dark or as light as you want. Hi, Philomena, welcome. Thank you guys for joining me. So I was working with my mom this afternoon on an album project. I had a bunch of photos printed, and so I was up at her house. We're trying to get the pictures organized and things like that. Oh, thank you for sharing, Philomena. Yes, I really appreciate all of you when you share my channel and thumbs up and all of that fun stuff. Woo, isn't that fun? Look at that rich raspberry on here. And again, it's picking up some of that color. You can come in here. I got a little carried away, so let me blend that together a little bit. All right. So again, just kind of circle on it. Try to keep my fingers out of the way, but isn't that neat? You can see the texture that it's picking up on there. So again, you can leave it light, or I kind of like the dark, and I kind of smoosh it all together in here. All right, and then we'll do our third one. So fun. I love these finger daubers. They have a little bit different purpose. So I like these when I'm working with delicate die cuts, because you do have a little bit more control, whereas with your blending brushes, you could, it's just, I wanted a lot of more saturation of color, and with your blending brushes, that's going to take a little bit more, and I didn't really want to brush over some of these intricate parts. So fingers daubers definitely have a little bit of a different purpose than our sponge brushes here. So yeah, different things for different purposes. All right, so we've got our Cajun Craze and our rich raspberry. Now let's come in with some bright green. We'll do our old olive here. Let me check this one. Yep, that's a nice green. All right, so again, just real careful right up on there. So I am kind of holding this down and being careful how I brush this around these leaves here. Okay, and again, just keep going until you get the saturation of color. I like the real dark on here, where it's truly blended, no white spot left. All right, so I really like that. And it is neat how even the leaves, they all have a little bit of embossing on there. Okay. So many uses for this Nature's Harvest bundle, whether you're stamping your flowers and then coloring them and cutting them out, or just using some of the die cuts here. Aren't these fun? So nice and bright and colorful. All right, so when it comes to adhering our flowers to our card base, I found the easiest thing to do, oops, they're connected here. Here we go. All right, so the easiest thing to do is pull out your dimensionals. You can fit full-size ones up here on your flower tops there, but the mini ones do work best down here on the leaves, and that way you can kind of work your way down the stem a little bit too. All right, you can even put another one at the top. I do want to make sure that these stay put on my card, so I am going ahead and using quite a few here. And then if you're wondering how the stems are going to stay put, I'm actually going to use some twine to kind of wrap this around and hold it all together. So let's go ahead and pull off our dimensional backings. My nails are so short right now. That's what happens in the summer, working outside, things like that. I really need a good manicure, and I could use a pedicure too. But I haven't been to the salon since before COVID, so I don't know. I guess it's probably time to make an appointment. Oh. Boy, it's hot and humid again here this afternoon. We did finally get some rain. I know after we had such a rainy June and July, it was crazy how fast things dried up here in August, and then our creek was even just about dry. All right, so we'll take these and just kind of stick them down and around, kind of arrange them on our Whisper White Stitched with Whimsy piece. And I do like putting them kind of at different angles so that they've kind of dancing around in different directions. Makes it kind of fun. And then it's okay if your stems hang off the bottom, because we can just come in with our snips. And where did I put my paper snips? Oh, they're hiding in my drawer here. All right, so if they hang off the edge, that's okay. Just come in after you've stuck them down and just trim them, boom, right off. Okay, so no big deal on that. All right, so now I'm gonna come in with my linen thread. I love this type of natural twine look, especially when we're dealing with kind of like country flowers and things. Aren't they pretty, Susie? How are you today? Yeah, you could use a spa day too. Absolutely. Aw, just reading through your comments there. All right, so I'm going to leave myself a little bit of twine here to work with at the front and just kind of pinch it with my thumb. Now, when I'm using ribbon, I don't usually go all the way around, but the twine is fairly thin. So I kind of want it to have that wrapped look. So I'm going around a couple times here. You can go 3, you can go as many, however, as much as you want there. And then make sure you leave yourself some extra as well if you want to do a bow or something. All right, and that way you can hold this in place. So bring your knot, that's why you had lots of extra, because you could tie your knot over on the left or the right or in the center, really whatever you want to do. But where you get it about where you want it, hold it tight, kind of pinch it in the middle, and then we're going to knot this first. That way it stays put. Janelle's little doggies, Gwenny and Bacon, have their spa day on Thursday. She posts the cutest pictures. Her what do you call the doggy groomer there dresses them all up and takes cute pictures. It's adorable. So fun. But yeah, if the doggies get a spa day, then we need one too. All right, so I'm just trimming off some of that excess twine. All right, I've still got lots of wiggle room on here, but I just did a quick little bow, and once I get this all together, then I can secure that with a glue dot so that it doesn't move on me. All right, so you do have to be a little bit careful with this because you're gonna be running your adhesive over a little. It's gonna be a little bumpy. So just take it slow. Yep, there's a bump. All right, so with the Stampin' Seal, I realize people kind of have a love-hate relationship with this sometimes, but you really just want a light touch and go slow. And then it does work okay. And every now and then you do just kind of have to prime it. Okay, so this is, so I'll show you. This is the linen thread. All right, so I'm just going to mount this to the card front. Now the linen thread is easy to miss. That is here. All right. So the linen thread is here on page 140. This is the ribbons and accessories page, and it's right down here. 104199 is the number, and you get 15 yards for $5. And it might be, I mean, it's the same exact item number that we had. It's real thin. It's like it's a thread. And it might be packaged a little bit. I do realize this is an older package, but when you get 15 yards, then it lasts a long time. This has been in the catalog for like forever. Yeah, and a little bit goes a long way. So that's why my packaging is still several years old. So if you order, it might look a little bit different, but it's going to be the same twine. Yeah, $5 is a nice price for something that's going to last you quite a while. All right, so like I said, I want to make sure that that bow doesn't come untied and it doesn't really move around my card. So I'm going to take my glue dots here and just gently peel one off with my scissors, because you don't want to get them on your fingers because then they get boogie. All right, and I'm going to slip that right underneath and just pinch my knot right onto it. That way the rest of the twine is still free flowing and things, but it's not going to, and you can still kind of adjust it a little bit, but your knot's not gonna come untied or go anywhere. Yeah. Oops, hey Karen. Yeah, I was just a couple minutes late. I was up with my mom. We were doing an album project and I was helping her label photos, and we kind of got on a roll, and I looked at the clock and I was like, oh, I better get home because I've got a video to start. So I was prepping, and when I actually logged on, it was a few minutes after 3, but I'm here. All right. Okay, yep, Susie said she ran out. So yep, you'll have to order some more of this linen thread. Yeah, it's definitely fun. All right, so this is our rich razzleberry. We did some Cajun craze and some old olive on there. I do think we need a little bit of a greeting. And there's such beautiful ones here in the Nature's Harvest set. Yeah, Karen, you can always catch You haven't missed much. This is still the first card, but you can always go back and watch the beginning of the replay. All right, so I think I'm going to pull in the thank you here because I don't have a lot of room, but I do want a little something something up there in the corner. So I'm going to grab a block and let's go ahead. I think I'm going to stamp this in Rich Raspberry. Just nice and bright and kind of pull it all together. So I probably should have stamped this first. If you're if you're worried about rocking or smudging or anything like that, you could actually have stamped this first and then applied your flowers, but I kind of got carried away. I was so excited about my flowers that that I didn't add anything else. All right, so now we've got our stamping on there, and I think that's really sweet. I left it nice and bright and white. I think on the next card, I'm gonna change that up and show you some additional things you can do with your daubers there. Okay, so just cleaning my stamp. Didn't mean to throw it at you. Okay, so that's card number 1. Tidy up just a little bit. All right, so for card number 2, these things are rolling all over. All right, card number 2, I am using the crumb cake card base. We've got our early espresso. Okay, so we're going to do a layer of early espresso instead of raspberry this time. So let me see, I got pieces floating all over my desk. So, oh, hey, Luann, it must be because you're watching. I just ran out of adhesive. That always happens mid-video. Oh, good thing I just ordered a whole bunch of refills. My order just came in this morning, actually. Perfect timing. So, yes, I ordered a whole bunch of refills here. Let me just pop that out. All right, so when you're, just a tip, when you're changing out your refill, make sure you pick any boogies off of your dispenser openings. Just kind of clean that up because it does collect some of the goo. And then make sure you have something to kind of wipe that off onto so that it doesn't stay on your fingers. All right, so pop that in, prime it. Yep, okay, we are good to go. Oh, look how nicely that runs. So smooth. Okay, so we've got that. Our early espresso layer is 4 by 5 1/4. Now with the next one, I did still cut my basic white with my Stitch with Whimsy dies. The second largest here is the perfect size for the 3 3/4 by 5. And I love that whimsical little flight of the bug all the way around. All right, so on this one, I want to add a little something extra. So I'm going to pull in my crumb cake ink on this one and find my other dauber here that's rolling around. Okay, guess I'll use another one here. And so on this one, I'm gonna jazz it up just a little bit, distress it, go with that country look. So I've got lots of ink, and I'm just gonna gently brush my edges here. Hi, Terry from Georgia. Thanks so much for joining. How are you today? So glad you found my channel. All right, so I'm using some crumb cake ink and a finger dauber, and I'm just gently distressing the edges or inking the edges here with some crumb cake ink. All right, so you can see I've only like re-inked once. You really don't need a lot of ink. I just want to gently brush that on. Kind of gives it that little, like that antiquing or shabby chic look on there. And you can add as much or as little as you want. If you want to do a little bit more so that it's not quite so defined around the edges, then go ahead and kind of doing a little like a brushing action, like you're wiping it away. Okay, so I think we've got plenty on there now. But that just adds a little something extra to your to your project. And like I said on the first one, I probably should have stamped my greeting first, if you're worried about not having room for your greeting after you add your flowers. So what you could do, I'll do this in the proper order this time. I'm going to use Early Espresso. Yes, Philomena, it adds like a vintage look to it. So I'm going to ink first. And like I said, you could put this anywhere you want, but I do kind of like having space up here towards the top. Okay. And that way, if you do rock or mess it up or something, then you can still flip it over and have your backside to work with. So that way, you always have a second chance. All right. Sometimes, you know, you get all caught up, excited with making a project, and then you're like, oh yeah, probably should have done this in a different order. Okay, so we're bringing back the table protector here, just our chipboard. Gonna bring in some more of these die cut coneflowers from the Stampin' Up! Nature's Harvest bundle, the Harvest dies. This time we're gonna go with a different color combination. I'm going to do my cones with the Early Espresso. And let me find my proper dauber for this. I have so many rolling around here. But it's nice they come in a 5-pack. So, all right, so we're just going to, again, kind of brush that on there. We're doing the centers with the Early Espresso. Okay, just kind of a circular motion so that you don't end up with just a dot, because then you can tell it was a circle. So if you end up with that, just add a little bit more color and keep circulating your sponge so that it blends all into there. All right, so that was Early Espresso. And then how about we do some Calypso Coral? We'll make it nice and bright. Okay, so for this one, ink it up. We'll do our, I'm gonna hold it again. All right, ooh, so fun, nice and bright. Kind of that pinky orange on there. I love these because coneflowers come in so many different colors that you really can't go wrong, whatever color combination you choose. And then, yeah, so just blend it right up into there. Okay, I love that when it's done, then you really can't tell where the one color ended and the other began. They all kind of like blend so nicely together. All right, and then we're gonna go with a different shade of green on this one. I think we should go with some, well, let's see. What color do I want to use on this? How about, we got Calypso. How about we go with let's go with some mint macaron and see what that looks. I don't want a bright green. I want kind of a softer green on this one. Okay. And so let's see how, oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so this is mint macaron, and when we have such a saturation of color, it really, it gets a little bit darker, but this has kind of like a little, like a minty blue green to it. I love all of our colors. And again, it picks up the embossing there, and just keep sponging it until you get the degree of color that you really want on there. Okay. Just kind of brushing a little bit in a circular motion here. And I love that. So you'd never know that these started out as little white die cuts because they have so many pretty colors on them now. All right, so that combination was the Early Espresso, Calypso Coral, and Mint Macaron. Love that. Okay, so we got our beautiful flowers. Again, same thing, we'll flip them over and apply our dimensionals. So full size here at the top. And then we'll use the minis at the base and on each of the leaves. And even a little one down towards the base of the leaf. So really simple card here, but the fun part is in the using the sponge daubers, your little finger daubers. I mean, what what kid at heart is, you know, they kind of make me think when you're a kid and you use the black olives and you stick them on your fingers to eat them. So it kind of has that fun, reminiscent feeling of sticking olives on my fingers. I guess that's why I like the daubers. Makes me feel like a kid. But no, it's a fun technique. Yeah, I love that. So, all right, so we're going to, again, apply these to our basic white layer, stitched with whimsy here. And then you can kind of put these around whichever way you want. It's nice to put them at different heights, and that way they look a little more realistic. Ah, Janelle's okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I was afraid you guys would think I was nuts, but Janelle said that she used to do the olive thing on her fingers too. Yeah, Jeanette says that my table protector looks abstract. Yeah, it does now. You can. I've got my delicate dahlia leaves on here. I've been doing a little stenciling. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. But you know, this is just a piece of the cardboard, the chipboard that came out of one of our specialty paper packs and kits and things. Oh, somehow I got a little ink on there. So let's do one over here so that I can make sure I kind of hide that ink spot. And then we'll put the third one kind of up through the middle. That'll be the taller one. Yeah, whatever works to protect your surface there. And then, here we go. We'll just do this one. It's kind of cute. They overlap just a little bit. And again, just pull in your snips. Don't worry if they're hanging off the edge. Just give it a little snip, snip. There we go. All right. And then I love the linen thread. So give yourself, you know, like an extra 6 inches or so to hold on to. And then unwind it from your thing here. And then just wrap it around a couple times. You could do 2, you could do 3, whatever you're in the mood for. All right, then bring it across, and then again, snip yourself an extra like 6 inches there. You get 15 yards on a roll here for $5, so you can definitely, you've got lots of room for extra. All right, so hold it in place. Just make sure your paper's not curling really. Oh, thank you, Philomena. I'm glad you guys like these. I was like, oh, let me show all the different ways to use the Nature's Harvest bundle here with the stamp set and the dies. Love this kind of late summer, early fall item from the mini catalog. Okay. Alrighty, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and adhere this to our card base, and then I'll tie my knot. So I've got something a little sturdier to hold on to. So I am going on either side of my twine so that it doesn't kind of slip up and down, doesn't move around too much on my card here. All right, and then that goes right in the center there. Now that it's on, I've got, just tie my little bow. That's why you want to give yourself lots of extra, because that way you can adjust it. You can always make it smaller. Get it where you want it. We'll pull in our glue dot. Don't pick it with your fingers. Nobody likes boogie fingers, but just use your snips or take your pick tool and just get it where you want it and place it right underneath that that knot there. You can always kind of wiggle it around. It'll hide. Nobody will know there's a glue dot under there. You really can't tell. And then you can snip off any extra here. All right, you could even fray the ends if you want. You could unwind them just a little bit, just kind of catch it and pull it a little bit. If you kind of want a little more of a country look there, go ahead and kind of unwind that. There we go. Just kind of pull it and play with it if you like. But there you go. So we have 2 simple cards, but these use the Nature's Harvest bundle. It's a stamp set. And then we've got our beautiful dies here. Oops, where's my second page? Showing with our Coneflower die that we have used today. We've also got some cute, I call these the chicory flowers because they remind me of the little blue flowers that are also grow wild this time of year. And then we've got some of the grasses, cattails, grasses, whatever you want to call them. We've even got some branches here. So fun set. And then we used our sponge daubers. So again, the daubers come 5 in a pack, so you can use them for different colors. So I do have a bunch floating around because I use them, one for reds, one for blues, one for greens, things like that. And then our Stitched with Whimsy dies, and you can make these any color you want. So I would love to see, like Luann said, her Black-Eyed Susans are such a brilliant yellow. That would be a really fun combination too. We could pull in some crushed curry and do fun combination that way as well. Yes, isn't this pretty? I love late summer, early autumn. I don't like the heat so much, but I do love the wildflowers that grow this time of year. So I hope you have enjoyed these as well. Again, if you enjoy my channel, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, and subscribe. And I love your comments. So thank you guys. It was fun stamping with you this afternoon. You take care, and I will be stamping with you again later. Alrighty, bye-bye.